Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. It's not backstage. On stage, okay. Shabbat Shalom. You can leave.
Shabbat shalom.
What's going on? I'm setting up, getting everything, trying to get set up here. People leaving the fire. I don't know. People be getting kicked out the room. So a lot of people leave and they come back. Numbers come back. Is it true or false? It's kind of what we're looking at. Whole lot of lies been told. Something's in mind.
KK coming on.
I don't know. I just posted in the
Okay.
I just put the link there. That's it. Mm-hmm. And that's it. Wish I had a good duo. I'm gonna try and find a way to post these on the screen. It's have a lot of information, but I would have to go through saying, like the days of the week, what they're named after, and all of that. Everybody gone. Okay. Well, on the side. Okay, Shabbat Shalom. Giving all praise and glory to the Most High Power, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Just a moment. The conference call. Mm. Hopefully everybody having a great Sabbath. Guess I'll bring it. Uh, Man, I went to put my phone on, it just went off. Wow, it's crazy. It's a crazy thing happening. All right. Okay, it's a lot of things, that's going on, and a lot of different doctrines going around, and you have those that really don't like what we do and bringing forth this truth, because it's not with, I guess, with them. So you have that vision and all that. I'm fine, but the truth is the truth. It's amazing to me how it's almost like we still in a corner somewhere. And you got to bring everybody else in. And if there's for all we went through as a people, to think that the other nations, I got comments so long, that have not went through anything, and Shabbat Shalom, welcome, haven't went through what we went through, and they just going to come in just because they learning from us or doing whatever they're doing around us, that there's no judgment for what it says that the judgment going to be. How is that going to work? How is that real? We looking at the truth and a lie, or the truth and what's false, for real. Because we still here. Most I gave Pacific, orders pertaining to if we wouldn't be a nation, but we still a nation. We still here. And we had to go through all that we went through, being the chosen of the Most High. So how is it that someone that's not the chosen of the Most High, who the Most High said, and it's almost like, okay, because when they come in, anyone that comes in, be amongst us, now they like us. They're not, even though they're another nation, they're like us now. Almost like you could be a spiritual Israelite, That's what I like to ask other nations, can I be a spiritual Chinese? Can I be a spiritual Vietnamese? They ain't never thought about nothing like that, right? What do you mean? Oh, no. They looking at me like, you know who you are. But it's like, when you look at, you go all the way back to the time that, when you read the Bible, I'm looking at Ezekiel right now, right? We in captivity. Okay, I'm going to turn the page. I'm going to go to Isaiah. Where we at? We in captivity as the Israelites. Mainly Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, but we in captivity. You understand? I go to Daniel. We in captivity. When I go to Mashiach Yahushua coming on the earth on the Romans, we in captivity. You go in the Apocrypha in the Greek Empire, we in captivity. Somebody's over us. We ain't ruling nothing. We doesn't steal. The people that have done all these things to us, it's almost like they just got a pass to come in. No. Everybody got to pay, man. We got to pay. They got to pay. Everybody got to pay. Look. Colossians 3:17. Whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Shalom Mashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Shalom Mashiach Yahushua. Understand, understand this. Um, you got to make it make sense to me because, I've been dealing in this over 30 something years, man. And it's like when you go into the scriptures and you see, you do this. I mean, when we go through the curses, it's like, you do this, I'm going to curse you. I'm going to bring all these plagues on you. I'm going to do all this to you. And we're the chosen people. But then all somebody got to do is, it reminds me of, how people say once before they die, just repent and say, I'm sorry for what I did, and I believe in Jesus. Then they go into heaven because it's our heaven, it's our damnation right now. But all they got to do is just say that, then they gonna go into the kingdom. Just come in a little while with us, learn a little bit here, there, whatever. Then you go on to the kingdom. No, man, it's not like that. Look, everything we say gonna be in the name of the Lord and Savior. But Shalom Mashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father. We thank the Most High about Shalom Mashiach Yahushua, because whatever He do is righteous. He is righteous. He is not unrighteous. He's not a man He should lie. Look what it say. It's kind of crazy, man. I mean, when I think about it, but people going with what they're going with. It tells you in Ezekiel 33 and 15, it says, if the wicked restore the pledge, give again that he have robbed, walk in the statutes of life, it's a condition, without committing iniquity, he shall surely live. He shall not die. I'll read you again. If the wicked restore the pledge, give again that he have robbed. So that means the wicked, them robbed wherever they went. Wherever they went. They stole it. They robbed it. You got to give it back. Give again that he had robbed. Had is in the past. Because, people be like, oh, that was them back there. It's not on us. That was back then. No, it says give again that he had robbed. What he had done in the past. Walking the statutes of life, that's keeping the commandments of the Most High, keeping the laws of the Most High, without committing iniquity. You hear that? Without sinning, without being wicked, he shall surely live. That's serious right there. He got to give back all that he robbed, all that he took, from the point of coming out of the place of their habitation in the Caucasus Mountains, taking over Europe, from the real Aboriginal Japhetic people, and taking over their place, then coming here and taking the entire Western Hemisphere. People were already in these lands. That's why I say, if the wicked restore the pledge, give again that he had robbed, walk in the statutes of life, without committing iniquity. It's deep. I mean, they can't sin. They got to be keeping the commandments of the Most High, the laws of the Most High, without committing iniquity. Think about it. They can't sin. So the only way they're not gonna commit iniquity is they gotta learn the laws of the Most High, learn them, live and apply them in their life. He shall surely live, it said. He shall not die. None of his sins that he have committed shall be mentioned unto him. he have done that which is lawful and right. He shall surely live. You see? Who's saying it? Verse 1. Again, the word of the Most High came unto me. That's Ezekiel saying. So last I read, Job 9:24 says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He who is the wicked covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is it? So it's a real deep, you know, conversation that the Most High is having with the wicked. And then we gotta look at ourselves. And for him, what mostly he's talking to us in the Bible, and the things that he's saying to us. How is he telling us something, but yet and still we today to learn how to read, and all of a sudden we gonna bring in the other nations, and they don't have no judgment because they learning from us. Don't work that way. Look, that's why I like to do a balance. This happened to us, it's gonna happen to them. Or would it be really fair? Or are we really the chosen? You gotta think about that. If all you gotta do is, like I said earlier, all you gotta do is say, I believe in Jesus. That's all they knew. And the Jesus that they believed in was this cat. They believed in him. Now they find out he's a brother or he's a black man, but they still probably praying to this on their own. They by themselves. They ain't looking at trying to pray to a black man, but it's real, man. I mean, Ezekiel 33:8. When I say unto the wicked, O wicked man, thou shalt surely die. If thou dost not speak to warn the wicked from his way, that wicked man shall die in his iniquity. But his blood will I require at thine hand. That's why, people could say we kind of cold-blooded, this, that, the third, whatever. But did you hear what he just said? He said, when I say unto the wicked, O wicked man, O woman, thou shalt surely die. Because we the watchmen for the Most High on this earth in these last days. Thou shalt surely die. If thou dost not speak to warn the wicked from his way, that wicked man shall die in his iniquity. But his blood will I require of thine hand. Man, woman, child, whoever. He said, we got to warn them of their wicked way, or their blood is on us. But see, if you don't know this and you ain't thinking like I said, when the book is closed, do you really realize, do you think about this? You already knew this, right? You grew up knowing this, right? Most people don't. A lot of things y'all just hear, it's like I'm a preacher or something. Y'all hear, I ask what scripture was I, if I leave, I come back, what scripture was that? Y'all can't even tell me where I was at. You ain't taking notes enough to be able to look at this when the book is closed. You got to think about this. Look what the Most High said. That ain't something you can think about. He said, hey, this real was Joshua 1:8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth. Joshua 1:8. But thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. But then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success, because all success is not good. But we're supposed to be meditating on the law. And this is what he's telling us here. It said, Ezekiel 33:1, it said, again, the word of the Most High came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, the Israelites, 12 tribes of Israel, and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon the land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast and set him for their watchman, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, you know the sword is coming. You know destruction is coming. He blow the trumpet and warn the people. That sound. You hear that sound. You know if you hear that, you know that's the sound of warning. Now, when we have Feast of Trumpets, you got different sounds of the trumpet that we knew when it was blown that it meant something. That sound is to warn the people. Then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come, that destruction come, that death come, and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. This is real. That's why, a lot of people, they can't really take correction. But you got to learn to take correction, because when it go down, when Jacob's trouble come, and you so used to doing whatever you want to do in your own little feelings and all that stuff, man, you're going to die. When you warn, and you have to warn them, he just said your blood's going to be on your hand. So you have to warn them. That's why you got to be able to take, just like, how we going to be, how the Most High raising up, first and foremost, a spiritual army, and you can't be told what to do? How do you think anybody that's a teacher, I don't care who it is, and you can hear me if you are out there from, we all had to take orders. We was under orders. And that's how we learn what we learned as men. And we endured it to learn what we had to learn and dealt with it to be here now. Anyone in an army, straight up, Navy, Marines, Air Force, whatever you want to say, of Israelites. For real. And that's how it is, man. You were warned, told what to do, and you done it. Ain't no back talk, ain't none of that. Just do it. And anybody that you see that's teaching right now, especially coming from One West, anybody, it don't matter who it was. Ain't nobody just woke up and all of a sudden they got all this information. Understand this, man. We had to go through a lot to get this. And it's like you got to be able to take correction. When you warn the people, you tell somebody about that's wrong, this is right, this is wrong, that's wrong. Like I say, what's true and what's false, man. His blood should be upon his own head. You don't want to listen? Your blood gonna be on your own hand. He heard the sound of the trumpet. You heard, like it tells us, you heard the sound of the trumpet, right? That's why the Most High said, Isaiah 58:1. That's why he said, hey. He said, cry aloud. Isaiah 58:1 said, cry aloud, spare not. What do you think that means? That's why a lot of people come and go. They can take it or they can't take it. You can't take it, you got to man up. You're going to be in this truth, you got to man up, especially the times we're going to go through. Knowing that the devil know he got a short time coming down much wrath on those that keep the commandments of the Most High and have a testimony of a Mashiach Yahushua. Who do you think that is? The Baptist church? The people that's Catholic? Talk to me. Who do you think that is? That keep the commandments of the Most High and had a testimony of a Mashiach Yahushua. And you sit right here in your feelings. Nah. Like I said, cry aloud. He says, spare not. Right? Don't spare nobody's feelings. That's why y'all gotta, man up, man. To say, lift up thy voice like a trumpet. You hear that? You hear the trumpet? You hear our voice is that trumpet. Loud. How y'all gonna deal with a Mashiach that was side? When they came to get him, it was 600 men. They came to get him, to crucify him. He said, whom do you seek? They said, a Mashiach Yahushua of Nazareth. He said, I am he. And all them soldiers fell down to the ground. He said 3 words. He said, I am. Y'all know how y'all gonna deal with it. How you gonna deal with him? Y'all talking about, I love my Mashiach, I love my Jesus, whatever. He said 3 words. He said, I am he. And they all fell to the ground. He said, lift up thy voice like a trumpet and show my people their transgressions and the house of Jacob their sins. You have to do that. You're responsible, or their blood gonna be on you. You know, it's like, but I don't think nobody think like that. Nobody, most people, when a book is closed, they like, we all on the same page. We ain't dealing with, you ain't learned nothing. You know, I don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. We both are still in the world. No. You got to think like this, man. You know it, you got to actually apply it in your life, man. Ezekiel 33, verse 4. You blowing the trumpet. We sounding it out. We telling you, you know, it might not be the way you want to hear it. Because y'all so caught up in y'all little feel good or whatever y'all doing, your comfort zone, but it might be hardcore sometime. It might be, you know, serious. It's just serious. You know, whenever you love your people, man, you come out and you looking at, man, you know all this, it's like, man, you don't really care. Then you got to deal with people's feelings. If when he see it, the sword come upon the land, Ezekiel 33:3, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. The sword is coming upon us as Israelites. Jacob's trouble. Not everybody. And warn the people. Then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet, now we live another voice like a what? Trumpet, like he said. You hear the sound of the trumpet and take it not warning. If the sword come and take him away, his blood should be upon his own head. You hear that? You're responsible for that. We're not responsible for that. Some of you got all this mouth just to say this, that, or third, whatever, got your own way, whatever. You better go in these scriptures and back up how you feel. Justify by these scriptures. Then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, kill him or her, his blood shall be upon his own head, he said. He heard the sound of the trumpet, heard the warning, knowing that it's coming. Knowing that it's coming, it's on its way. You heard the sound of the trumpet, you heard us warning them. You know, be ready. You know what I'll be saying, be ready so you ain't got to get ready. And took not warning, didn't listen. His blood should be upon him. But he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul. You hear that? You're going to deliver yourself. You take the warning, if we blow the trumpet, you take the warning and say, but if the watchman see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, don't say nothing. You know it's coming. You know what the past, the present, and the future going to be. And you don't say nothing. Knowing that it's Jacob's trouble on his way, knocking at the door. And blow not the trumpet, you don't say nothing. And the people be not warned. If the sword come, and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity. But his blood will I require at the watchman's hand. You still got to pay a price for somebody else. That's what it's about. Most of us said, love thy neighbor as thyself. This is love. Whether you like it or not. I mean, it's like how many people come and go. That's like I say, you know, they come and go, but it is what it is. I mean, got something for that too. He said, it's real, y'all. This is real as real could be. Because our people don't really want to follow orders. But then you think about how you are on your job. All you that have jobs or have worked a job, or they got to deal with some kind of business you got to take care of with the other nations that are heathen, especially Esau. And you got to suck up to them. But then when it comes down to us and dealing with, ain't nothing more powerful than the truth. Prove that fact. You think the ones on your job that you suck up to is more important, or ones you got to suck up to be able to get whatever you want and deal with whatever you got to deal with? And you treat us like we're nobody. And you got to put on a whole act when you go to your job. I remember brothers say, yeah, man, you know, everybody on the job love me. I say, that don't mean nothing to me. Everybody got out. You're supposed to have, they're supposed to be loving you. The Israelites supposed to be loving you. That's what I'm impressed about. Caring about them people on your job, liking you. How come everybody in there got a problem with you? Got out here, out there. That's what it's about. You know, that's the second greatest commandment. Love thy neighbor as thyself. All throughout the Bible, I can show you. Oh, love, 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 love. Care about your brother. Care about your sister. Care about each other. Can't even communicate with each other hardly. People just distant. I mean, it's getting more and more and more when we have to be together. We have to be together, you know? You have a right to avoid people, but you're not supposed to be hating on our people, man. It says, so verse 7, so thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word at my mouth and warn them from me. That's from the Most High. What did it say, verse 1? Again, the word of the Most High came unto me. That's Ezekiel saying. He said, warn them. Hear at my mouth and warn them from me. You hear that? From the Most High. When I say unto the wicked, O wicked man, thou shalt surely die. If thou dost not speak to warn the wicked from his way, that wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Hear that? That's the we brothers that are teachers, that know what we know. And we see it, we don't say nothing. We're going to die while I say certain things, because I have to be able to look at what I'm saying is going out for anyone to hear. So you have to be very, very careful how you operate, because everything's been written in the books. And he just said a few times that their blood gonna be on your hand. I understand this. This ain't nothing new. This been, you know, in my spirit. And those that are, you know, in the spirit, you have to feel this. He said, but his blood will I require at thine hand. You're responsible for whoever it is. Think about people got a lot of people in a congregation. Whole lot of people. And they're responsible for every last one of them. Do y'all realize that? That's why you got to be on point. Nevertheless, if thou warn the wicked of his way to turn from it, turn from his wicked way, if he do not turn from his way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. You see? That's why you have to tell them. But a lot of times people don't realize in this world what love is, because the first thing you'll hear somebody say in their mind, even though they don't say it, but you know, the Most High's eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of man and even the secret parts. And he reveals his secrets to his servants, the prophets. When he reveals certain things to you, and then it's like, it's pride. Most High, pride. That's why somebody came in last night talking about I am proud, you know, but they don't know that being proud is when you depart from the Most High. Your pride, all you that's prideful out there, you not dealing with the Most High. Straight up. Most High ain't dealing with you. And pride, being proud is hateful before man and the Most High. Look at this. I mean, Ecclesiasticus, that's why you can't hardly, you got to look at yourself. That's why you can't be told something to do, like I said, there's certain things like you don't hear saying Bahasham or Mashiach Yahushua because somebody said you ain't supposed to be saying ha. So we stopped saying it. It's Basham. Because I looked for it, I didn't find it in the Hebrew. So we started saying Basham. Correction. Somebody came on last week or a couple of weeks ago, they said, hey, Berily. I always said Truly. I didn't know. He said they go back to AMEN. So we just eliminate that. You understand? Still being told what to do. That take humility. Some of you, you're prideful. You won't, like I'm telling you, AMEN, goes back to Zeus. The Greek god Zeus. His last name was Amen. Alexander established that within the 12 years that he ruled, from 20 to 32 years old, he established that. And people still saying it. Y'all calling on Zeus. Going all the way back to Egyptian god. These things change. What I'm supposed to do? Just, I know it, so I don't say nothing. No. Look, Ecclesiasticus 10:7. Pride is hateful before the Most High. Ecclesiastes, the 10th chapter, the 7th verse. Pride is hateful before the Most High and man. Look at verse 12. The beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High. You hear that? That's why you have to be humble. Because the beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High. And you hear people say all the time, oh, he stepped on my pride. I ain't got to deal with that. He stepped on my pride. Come on. The beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High. So who you dealing with? When you prideful, you dealing with who? Shaitan, straight up. And his heart, which is your mind, the way you think, is turned away from his maker. For pride is the beginning of sin. And he that hath it shall pour out abomination. And therefore the Most High brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly. Come on, man. The Most High have cast down thrones, powers, and authority of these nations, man, of proud princes, and set up the meek, that's the ones that's humble, in their stead. Come on. The Most High have plucked up the roots of the proud nations and planted the lowly, that's the one that's humble, in their place. What you think? You think we're going to go to the kingdom and we prideful? People be already putting themselves there. And when the scriptures say don't make thyself one of the number, I was there long time ago, though. And, a lot of you can't handle it because that's you. You going to run. You ain't going to better hear this. You going to run. Look, verse 18. Pride was not made for men, nor furious anger for them that are born of a woman. You see? They that fear the Most High, you're afraid, you scared of the Most High. To be afraid and scared of the Most High, you're going to keep his commandments, keep his laws, and highly respect him, and praise him, and exalt him, are a sure seed. See that? And they that love him are an honorable plant. It's real important. An honorable plant. Keep that in mind, an honorable plant. Not just any plant, but an honorable plant, because you're keeping the commandments of the Most High, keeping the laws of the Most High. They that regard not the law, that the Most High wrote with his finger, are a dishonorable seed. You see that? What do you think? When we're reading these scriptures, you don't see maybe. You don't see think about doing this. You don't see that nowhere in the Bible. It's direct orders, commands from the Most High. Well, Mashiach Yahushua, man, Allah. Look, it says, they that regard not the law are a dishonorable seed. They that transgress the commandments are a deceivable seed. Come on, man. Among brethren, he that is chief is honorable. The ones that's the teachers and so forth, that's over the camps and so forth, honorable. It say, so are they that fear the Most High in his eyes. You see? Over and over again, you're going to run from that. Look, the fear of the Most High goeth before the obtaining of authority, but roughness and pride is the losing thereof, man. You're going to lose it. That's why he said in Ecclesiastes 12:6, he said, for the Most High hateth sinners and will repay vengeance unto the unrighteous. Those that don't keep the commandments of the Most High, those that don't keep the laws of the Most High. You're unrighteous. Because to be righteous, you got to keep the commandments of the Most High. You have to keep the laws of the Most High and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. You hear that? And keepeth them, just because he haven't, came upon those that are sinners swiftly, he said he keepeth them for the mighty day of their punishment. That's why I don't understand how you can look at, the Gentiles coming in, being amongst us, and they learning from us, and they're going to receive the same salvation that we are, when they haven't went through. Show me where Edomites, Ishmaelites, Moabites, Ammonites, Hamites, Elamites, and all the rest of the nations been through what the chosen people of the Most High have been through, and for not keeping the commandments of the Most High, and all the gods of the nations are idols, and they're going to receive the same benefits. Yeah, y'all run. I want you to run, bing, out of here. But those that's going to listen, I'm going to still warn you. Because you got people that don't like the fact that we teach what we teach. But it's real. Make that make sense. I mean, you look at this. Since y'all think, whoever they are, think these people are holier than thou, holier than y'all, you got to make it make sense to me. This is what happened to, y'all know that we're the chosen, right? Maybe some of you don't. I don't know if you know or not. Everybody should know that we are the chosen people of the Most High, the 12 tribes of Israel. Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. Right? Those 12 tribes. I mean, that's one thing I think y'all should, I don't know why people not even naming the tribes, man. I mean, that's why they say we're a group. If we go with, Isaiah 44:1. Yet now hear, O Jacob, Isaiah 44th chapter and verse 1. Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. We ain't gonna find it say he chose nobody else but Israelites, period. Now, we're the chosen people, and everybody else, all they gotta do, it remind me of, I done heard this, like growing up, it's like, before somebody died, they say, oh, I repent. I believe in Jesus. I accept Jesus. I believe Jesus rose on the third day and remember they out, right? And then they said he went to heaven. What's the difference? Look, this is what he did to us. I can't bring it out enough. You gotta understand this, man. This is real as real could be, man. Ezekiel 21:1. And the word of the Most High, like I said, it's true or false. And the word of the Most High came unto me, saying, this is from the Most High. Son of man, set thy face toward Jerusalem and drop thy word toward the holy places, right? In the land of Israel. And prophesy against the land of Israel. We, the 12 tribes of Israel, that was living in the land of Israel. That's where we come from. And say to the land of Israel, the people that's on the land of Israel, we, the 12 tribes of Israel, thus say the Most High, behold, I am against thee, And I will draw forth my sword out of his sheath, and will cut off from thee. This is very important. These next words that's being said right here is very, very important. Y'all can write, highlight it, underline it, but make sure that you remember this. He cut off from the land of Israel. Remember, we the chosen people, the righteous and the wicked. He cut off out of the land of Israel the righteous, those that keep the commandments of the Most High, those that are tied into the Most High, those that's keeping the laws of the Most High, and the wicked that we just talked about. Warning. Behind what the wicked done. But see, now it's almost like, well, all you gotta do is just come and learn from us, and you're going to the kingdom. Ain't no judgment. Are you serious? We the chosen people of the Most High. Do I need to go and show you how you feel about these other nations? Maybe I got to go in there. Then what he did to us. He cut the righteous and the wicked out. Kicked us out the land. I've been over there. It was so hurtful to look at, think about it, just looking at it. He said, I'll make it desolate, and it's desolate, y'all, in a real, real way. Beautiful land, but nothing growing on it. Nothing. It's just miles and miles and miles. Tell me how it looked before he made it desolate. What did it look like when Solomon was ruling, when King David was ruling, King David was ruling? King Solomon. Talk to me. We can't even imagine it. They still looking for Solomon's mines. He was so rich. Come on, man. He cut the righteous and the wicked out of the land. Saying then that I will cut off from thee, the land of Israel, the righteous and the wicked. Therefore shall my sword go forth out of his sheath against all flesh, from the south to the north, that all flesh may know that I, the Most High, have drawn forth my sword out of his sheath. It shall not return anymore. So, knowing this, that he took the righteous and the wicked and kicked them out the land. That meant we went into captivity, slavery, and bondage. Ezekiel's in captivity, slavery, and bondage. Behind what the wicked done. You see, he got his name up here. He wanted the righteous, but he still had to go through what he had to go through. You understand? Now, that's the righteous and the wicked when the captivity. So, Lamentations, that's what I say, true or false. Lamentations 5 and 7. Our fathers have sinned. Our forefathers sinned. And are not. They're not here. They're not here. And we have borne or carried their iniquities. You see that? Because, people be saying, oh, that's my forefathers that did all that stuff to y'all. It wasn't none of me. But it's, hey, our forefathers sinned. And they're not here. And we have carried their iniquities. Look what it says. Servants have ruled over us. They're supposed to be servants. All these nations are supposed to be servants. But it says servants have ruled over us. There was none that does deliver us out of their hand. You see? So now, when you look at our fathers sin and are not. And we have carried their iniquities. Like I said, the righteous and the wicked, he kicked out the land. So when you look at Isaiah 14 and 21, it say, prepare slaughter for his children. Why? For the iniquity of their fathers. It happened to us. And I show you that we the chosen. You need more of that? I can show you. Scripture after scripture after scripture. We the chosen. He said, prepare slaughter for his children. Why? For the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. Finish, man. Let you know, man. He said, for I will rise up against them, said the Most High power of hosts, power of angels, army of angels, and cut off from Babylon the name and the remnant and son and nephew, said the Most High. That Babylon, the new Babylon is America, Babylon the Great. But you see what it says? Say, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. Like we bore the sins of our forefathers, what they did. He said the righteous and the wicked went into captivity. But see, you know, prophecy like verse 29 telling us what? You say, how? Not yet. You say, rejoice not, thou, O Palestinian. That's the Palestinians. Because the rod of him that smote thee is broken. For out of the serpent's root shall come forth a cockatrice, and his fruit shall be a fiery flying serpent. Sound like missiles to me. What it sound like to y'all? I mean, he couldn't really explain it no better than what he could say. You know, a fiery flying serpent. These prophecies gonna happen. And that's what happened. We see it. And the firstborn of the poor shall feed, and the needy shall lie down in safety, and I will kill thy root with famine, and he shall slay thy remnant. Cold-blooded, man. Food shortages, begging for food. And more destruction happening back to back to back to back to back. Howl, he said, O gate. Cry, O city. The whole Palestinian are dissolved. Huh. You don't see it over there? You don't see what the Most High did in fulfilling this word? See, one thing you understand, I'll go there next, but it say, howl, O gate. Cry, O city. And the leaders are at the gate. That's where the elders be at the gate. That's the leaders. Cry, O city, thou whole Palestinia are dissolved, for there shall come from the north a smoke. That's the missiles. And none shall be alone in this appointed times, man. Gotta understand, man, this is real. Real as real could be, man. We just gotta be ready, y'all. He gonna get these nations. I don't understand how, you know, you can think in your wildest dreams that anybody, you know what it is? I see is mainly Esau, mainly Edomites. I don't see no Japanese, Chinese, Vietnamese, Cambodians, Eskimos. Don't see none of them joining with us. It's mainly Jacob and Esau. Y'all notice that? Like different camps of crown gracians, whatever it be, they be joining them. But look what it says pertaining to them. Deuteronomy 23:3. An Ammonite or Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Most High. Even to the 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of the Most High forever. You gonna change that? If they come around, you gonna change that? Or you gonna bring it out to let them know that you ain't coming in, you can't come into the congregation because they met you not with bread and with water in the way. When you came forth out of Egypt, we came out of Egyptian captivity, they did not offer us anything to drink or to eat. Just the Most High. And because they hired against thee Balaam, the son of Beor, or Petor of Mesopotamia, to curse thee. Nevertheless, the Most High, thy power, yours, a personal possessive pronoun showing ownership only to the Israelites, would not hearken. He wouldn't listen unto Balaam, but the Most High, thy power, your power, turned the curse into a blessing unto thee, because the Most High, thy power, loved thee. He loved us. You see? That's real, y'all. So that's them. Huh? So what are you going to do about that? That's why I say it's more than what it is that is presented in what we see now. You know what I mean? Like, and we follow the way of these nations, man. Like, I find people, they caught up in BEDD man. It's like, how do you follow something that you could, big old fat dude sitting right there, statue standing right there, you can put some Twinkies under there, some incense burning, and you got some oranges and apples, and you're looking at it and you're praying and whatever you're doing, sitting out there, I remember when I came to LA, man, it was chanting. I know I heard it so much. They would be in these houses, they'd come in the house, all these people, all of us, we meeting, and I never did it, but I heard it. You could hear it on that movie with Tina Turner, when she broke away from Ike Turner in that movie, Tina Turner. That chant, during that time, I remember during that time, they be chanting that chant, like over and over again for a long time. So much that is implanted, like some of y'all know how to speak in tongues. When you're in the church, y'all learn how to do that. You keep hearing it, you keep hearing it. Then they teach you how to do that. You don't, then they say you ain't got the spirit. And nobody will interpret what you're saying, but y'all supposed to be speaking in tongues, that's not the truth. That's not the truth. I'll take you where they came up with that, and that's not the truth. But here we are, bunch of gophers, go for this, go for that, bunch of robots and robotees. That's what we are, spiritually discerned. I mean, we're not really in tune, spiritual puppets, man. I mean, that's what it is. I gotta call it like I see it, because of the fact of that's the love that I have for my people, and that's where y'all at. If you just gonna follow somebody for what it is that you see everybody else doing, everybody they running. You see people, oh wow, they where did they go? They falling off the cliff. You go to the edge of the cliff, you gonna jump too, huh? You gonna die right with them, huh? That's what this is about, life or death. That's it. You got a choice to choose life or death. That's it. That's all. Look, that's what choice we have, y'all. Isaiah 55 and 8. Isaiah 55 and 8. For my thoughts, that's the Most High. That my is the Most High. But my thoughts are not your thoughts. You hear that? He said, for my thoughts are not your thoughts. Neither are your ways my ways, said the Most High. You hear that? He said, our thoughts are not his thoughts. Neither are our ways his ways, said the Most High. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways. No matter how much we learn, how much you think you're on top of it. And my thoughts, then your thoughts. You see? He said, verse 11 said what? So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. You hearing what he's saying? It shall not return unto me void. There's going to be a judgment, but there's going to be a blessing. but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. For ye shall go out with joy, and be led forth with peace. The mountains and the hills shall break forth before you into singing, and all the trees of the field shall clap their hands. Instead of the thorn that he gave us from breaking his laws, Adam breaking his laws and Eve breaking his laws, shall come up the fir tree. And instead of the briar shall come up the myrtle tree. And it shall be to the Most High for a name, for an everlasting sign that shall not be cut off. But look what he's saying here. He said, the mountains and the hills shall break forth before you into singing, and all the trees of the field shall clap their hands. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to be a particular time when it's going to happen. He talked about it. Go to Isaiah 14. He said in verse 4, this is when we're going to have rest. We're in the kingdom as the Israelites under the power of the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua. He said, Most High Ratazawan, it'd be us, but he said, hey, Most High will say that thou shalt take up this proverb, Isaiah 14:4, against the king of Babylon, who's ever ruled in America, and say, how has the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. The Most High have broken the staff of the wicked. You hear that? They're the wicked right there. He broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter, that's power and authority of the rulers, plural, right? He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. How you gonna stop that? What's your method of stopping this? The whole earth is at rest. Now, it's not talking about now, because we at war. But he said in the kingdom, say the whole earth is at rest. So he told us, man. In verse 3, he said, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Most High shall give thee, that's the Israelites, the remnant of the Israelites, rest from thy sorrow and from the fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve. You hear that? That hard bondage that we were made to serve, but other nations not going to have to go through any kind of bondage. All they got to do is just call on the name of Jesus, believe he rose on the third day, and that's it. And come and hang out with us. That's it. Come on. They have not known the judgment of the Most High. Listen. Verse 7, the whole earth is at rest. When they're taken down. And it's quiet. Hear that? They break forth into singing. I tell you, the mountain's going to be singing. They break forth into singing. Yeah, listen. Yeah, the fir trees rejoice at thee. And the cedars of Lebanon saying, since thou art laid down. Remember, the trees going to be singing too. Remember, we just read that, right? It's going to say, since you've been laid down, come out of power, no fella is come up against us. Say, hell from beneath is moved for thee, to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It has raised up from their thrones, powers and authority of these other nations, all the kings of the nations. And they shall speak and say unto thee. That's what they're going to say. And we see it happening right now. Art thou also become weak as we? You can't whoop our butts. I thought y'all was supposed to be the superpower of earth. He said, you become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Hey, it's real. That's why you have to really know the scriptures, man, and look at what is going down to really know that we see is coming about in our time right now. But, everybody got their own way of how they feel, this going to go down this way, that way, whatever way, but the scriptures say what it says. That's why they're supposed to be doing this. And you go to Isaiah 14 and verse 1. I mean, it's clear. I mean, but the Most High will have mercy on Jacob. Have mercy on Jacob. And will yet choose Israel. They're going to choose the people again. We the children of Israel. He's going to yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers, these other nations, shall be joined with them. And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. They're going to be cleaving to us. This is what I felt Mashiach was saying to take it down. All the army, the navy, the marines, the air forces, all of them coming against him. They coming against him to fight. Ain't nobody ever came out of power without warfare. This ain't nobody he ain't coming through the fort, breaking through the fourth dimension, open up the sky, coming throwing out some rose petals and all that stuff. Man, get out of here. He coming for war. And they gonna fight him. As it is written. It's real. It's real, it's real compete. Look. Look at this. Go to Revelation 19. Verse 11 tell you he's coming to judge and make war. It says, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, righteous power, and he that sat upon it was called Faithful and True. That's Mashiach Yahushua. And in righteousness, that's why we define righteousness, you know, which is keeping of the commandments of the Most High. When you read Deuteronomy 6:25 and Psalms 119, 172. So he's coming to judge and make war by the law that most preachers say we ain't got to follow. We not under. If they Gentiles, they're not under the law. He didn't get the laws to the Gentiles. He gave the laws to the children of Israel. But in this day and time, they better be trying to learn as much as they can and follow. And we just said all the sinners of my people going to die by the sword. You know, he going to kill them. In righteousness, he does judge and make war, right? So look, jump up to verse 17. And I saw an angel standing in the sun. You hear that? We can't even look at the sun, right? We say he saw an angel standing in the sun. And he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of the heaven, come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great power. You hear that? He said, come and gather yourself to all the birds, the vultures, you know, whatever birds that going to eat flesh. He going to change their spirit. They're going to eat the flesh, man. He said, what did he say? Come. He said, to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven. You hear that? Saying to all the fowls, that's the birds that fly in the midst of heaven, in the sky. Come and gather yourselves together into the supper of the great power. Listen. That ye may eat the flesh of kings. That ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, from free and bond, both small and great. And I saw the beast. Oh yeah, this beast system that we in right now, and the kings of the earth and their armies. You hear that? And their armies. That's the army, the navy, the marines, the air force. Gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse, and against his army. The angels that's coming with him, 200 million. And the beast was taken. And with him, the false prophet. Yeah. Because most of all these religions come from the Catholic religion. That's why I call it Christian insanity. Listen. And wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them. See that? Lied to them. Y'all following all these different denominations, which come in demon in nations. Denominations moved the letter over, got demon in nations, but y'all don't know because gotta be analytical thinkers, man. The elite, they play games, man, with words and so forth, you know. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him. You know, you look at America and Vatican, you know, Israel and the Vatican. I mean, the Pope and so forth. They all in this together, man. Wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worship his image. These both were cast alive, not dead, but alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. And the remnant, the ones that's left, were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse. Mashiach was shackled doing. He called the destroyer, y'all. The people don't know him like that. Which sword proceeded out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh. You hear that? All the fowls were filled with their flesh. You're gonna be killing them. All the fowls were filled with their flesh. That's what time it is. That's the future prophecy. But see, we'll look at it and say, oh, what he's saying, verse 15. Verses 19 and 15. And out of his mouth go up a sharp sword, that with it, this sharp sword, he should smite, kill the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. That's the law and the commandments. That's what it's saying. So they're going to rule them with a rod of iron. That's the commandments. And he treaded the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty Most High. Period. That's why I look at 2nd Ezra, true or false. 2nd Ezra 13 and 37. You know, it's something because this is the truth. I mean, you got to go in these scriptures and make it mean something different. This is Mashiach Shah in the Old Testament. And it says, 2nd Ezra 13 and 37. It says, and this my son in the Old Testament, y'all, of Mashiach Yahushua, shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest, into the fire, and shall lay before them their evil thoughts and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame. You come with that fire, and he shall destroy them without labor. What it said? Brothers 19:15. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations. Listen. And he shall destroy them without labor by the law. You hear that, preachers? By the law, which is like unto fire. Come on. That's why they're going to be cleaving to us. Because it tell you in 2nd Ezra 13, all these nations get together to fight him. Verse 9. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, that's the army, the navy, the marines, the air forces of all these nations, he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. I'm just here because they say the Apocrypha is not canon, it's not legit. Now you tell me this don't fit right along with Revelation 19:11 down. But only I saw that he said out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips, isn't this coming out of his mouth? Out of his mouth, he should come a sharp sword, that he should smite the nations. Plural. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together what? The blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight. They were scared. He said, but they gonna fight because they're in the orders. And burned them up, every one. You see that? He's not, allowing anyone that's prepared to fight him, that's gonna fight him, they're not getting away. And burned them up, every one, it says. So that upon a sudden of a innumerable multitude, that's the army, the navies, the marines, the air forces of all these nations, nothing was to be perceived but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid, scared them. Can you imagine that? Because he's seeing into the future. There's no, stealth bombers and all that, and the flying saucers like they have now. Because the Germans, Hitler knew how to make flying saucers and all that stuff. Don't get it twisted now. That's why y'all gonna get caught up if you ain't in the spirit, seeing these flying saucers going around thinking, oh, here we are. They be enemies. Don't be rolling with us. You know what I mean? Second Thessalonians 2:8. 2 Thessalonians 2:8. Well, I look at, we've been fooled enough, man. We've been downplayed and ran them up in Shanghai, you name it, man. That's us, man. 2 Thessalonians 2:8. True or false? And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Most High shall consume, and the Mashiach shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. You hear that? Sound familiar? We read that same thing in Revelation 9, 10, and 15. It's read the same thing in 2 Ezra 13, 9 to 11, and 37, and 38. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan. You hear that? With all power and signs and lying wonders. That's why I tell you, man, it's like, you got to understand, man, it's like Revelation 18:23. Lying wonders, it tell you. For by thy sorceries, witchcrafts, were all nations deceived. And I mean, even with their pharmaceutical products, man, like they have people on these drugs, man. They're the biggest drug dealers in the world. You go to the doctor, they prescribe you all these drugs, man, your mind be all jacked up. People on these drugs, man. Witchcrafts, man. They go into, y'all understand, they pray over the music before it comes out. They pray over the movies and all that stuff to make all this money, and people praying in their little satanic circles for these pastors to have the money to keep being rich and getting all the people giving their money to them and all that. On the left-hand side, man. Sorcery, witchcrafts. They run their little wine. It's like Hollywood. It come from Hollywood. That's the magician's wine. And they bringing it forth, man. In their movies, they show you what they're doing. I wish I knew the name of that movie that Ice-T was in, where there was, he was like, he had been in the service, so he knew how to take care of himself, but they didn't know that. He was like homeless, come home and he don't take care of those soldiers. And they thought they just got a homeless man, and they was chasing him. He went out, took him out to the woods, and their whole objective was to chase him, to run him down. He was killing them left to right, one after another after another. I wish I knew the name of the movie, but It's a good movie, you know. But I say what they was doing, they said on the island over there, Epstein Island. So they were chasing people, having them going out there running, catching them, allegedly. Hmm. These are the things that we're looking at, man. Now, all these things that has been done, and I showed you how the Most High, how he dealt with us, the righteous and the wicked. But yet still, if all they got to do is just, here it is right here. And it's pretty, you got to understand, this is pretty clear. Pretty clear. But, you know, you can look at it and say, it don't apply to those that come amongst us and start to learn from us. But remember where we came from, all you that was here in the beginning. When I took you to Ezekiel 21 and 1 down, how the Most High took the righteous and the wicked and put us into captivity behind what the wicked done, right? And so I showed you where it said in Isaiah 14:21, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. Like what happened to us. I showed you how we have, our fathers are not here in Lamentations 5:7. Keep that in mind now. And we have borne their iniquity, right? We paid for what they done. So here we are now in Jeremiah 12:16. Because I see brothers bringing it out, but they ain't bring out verse 17. But listen what it says. Pay attention. It say, and it shall come to pass. It's a future prophecy. If they will diligently learn the ways of my people. The ways of my people. Who are the children of Israel. To swear by my name. The power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Jacob is the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, who is Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. Those 12 tribes. That's what we say the power of Israel. The Most High liveth. As they taught my people to swear by B-A-A-L up to this day. Because B-A-A-L means L-O-R-D. And they had our Bible for how many years? That our forefathers couldn't read when it was against the law to learn how to read. Or even pick up a book and try and read off with his head. Because we the chosen people of the Most High. We the people of the book. That's why they want us to read. Because when we start reading and understanding, like I'm giving to you now, it's a problem. Because we understand what it's saying. So they have us up to this day calling on B-A-A-L, which means L-O-R-D, which also means M-A-S-T-E-R. Check it out. They got us calling because they put it in the book. What do you think? They took things out, they didn't put things in? Look, let me show you something. Make this make sense. This from the, I'll be talking about these other Bibles, right? I'm reading from the King James 611 Bible. This is the New American Standard Bible. I seen it, I was like, wow. Remember I told y'all about Deuteronomy 28:68? And the King James Bible said, the Most High gonna send you into Egypt again, another time with ships. By the way, well, I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there we're gonna need ships. You're gonna be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you, right? So here, look what it says in the New American Standard Bible. All of them say this. Outside the King James Bible. You're gonna tell me they ain't tamper with this Bible? In our Bible too? Make this make sense, y'all. Help me out. I read it to some children. It was about, in the Watts, it was about 10. No, none of them was over 11 years old. Maybe one was 11, but it was like 9, 10, and 11. Look, Deuteronomy 28:68. What is this? This from the New American Standard Bible. Deuteronomy 28:68. And L-O-R-D, which is the Most High. They got an L-O-R-D, which is B-A-A-L, supposed to be the Most High, will bring you back to Egypt in ships. right? By the way about which I spoke to you, you will never see it again. Okay. Everything cool except for LORD, which is BAAL. It say, and there, when you go on these ships, you shall offer yourselves for sale to your enemies. I'm gonna read it again. And there, when you go on these ships, you shall, I mean, in the future, you going to offer yourselves for sale to your enemies as male and female slaves, but there will be no buyer. They all say that mostly. And there, when you go on these ships, you shall offer yourselves for sale. Please buy me as a, listen. And there you shall offer yourselves for sale to your enemies, not your friends, to your enemies as male and female slaves, but there will be no buyer. Come on now. Them children laughed. They laughed. They thought that was so funny. Is that don't make no sense. We're gonna offer ourselves to be, please buy me to be your slave. Come on. Make that make sense, y'all. See, that's why, I mean, that's why the Most High got a judgment coming. Listen what it says. Back to Jeremiah 12 and 16. Say, as they taught my people to swear by BAAL. They taught the Israelites to swear by LORD, no matter how you look at it. And y'all saying it, and you calling on BAAL, don't know it. If you do know, all you gotta do is stop doing it. Then shall they be built in the midst of my people. Like we just read in Isaiah 14 and 1. Or did we read it? Let's read it. Isaiah 14 and 1. Then they're going to be built in the midst of the Most High's people, right? Isaiah 14 and 1. True or false? Give it to your leaders. Let them say true or false. That's what this is about, right? The word is true, the word is false. What does it say? For the Most High will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers, these other nations, shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. That's these strangers. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Most High for servants and handmaids. Just like we just read, I gave you what Deuteronomy 28:68 says in the King James 6:11 Bible. And I just read to you in the New American Standard Bible how that does not make any sense, right? We're going to offer ourselves up to be slaves, men and slave women, and nobody going to buy us. Come on. All of them say that, y'all. Look it up. It says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Most High. For servants, men slaves, and handmaids, women slaves. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. So everybody has in captivity. They going into captivity. And they shall rule over their oppressors. Okay? So now it says in Jeremiah 12:16. And it shall come to pass, it's a future, if they will diligently learn the ways of my people. They're supposed to learn the ways that we're teaching to swear by my name, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Most High said that's his name forever, the memorial to all generations. Exodus 3:15. The Most High liveth, as they taught my people to swear by BAAL, which is all in the Bible. LORD. BAAL. Look it up in any Bible dictionary. You're going to see the first thing it's going to say is LORD. Then shall they be built in the midst of my people. That remnant of these people, these other nations, that strangers that we just read about in Isaiah 14 and 1 and 2. Listen, but if they will not obey and diligently learn the ways of the Most High's people, this is what he say. But if they will not obey, I will utterly pluck up and destroy that nation. Y'all got to see this because a lot of y'all probably missed the fact of what he said. Said the Most High. But the Spirit showing that he said, but if they will not obey, they don't want to obey, just learning the ways of the Most High's people, who we are, and what we're teaching from this Bible. He said, I will utterly pluck up and destroy that nation. That's not individuals, y'all. So these nations supposed to be telling the people of their nation to learn what we're teaching. Or the most are going to destroy that nation. Y'all see this? This ain't no individual thing. Just like the righteous and the wicked of his chosen people that of us went into captivity for what the wicked done. He already said, prepare slaughter for the iniquity of their fathers. You know, we bore the sins of our forefathers. We carried their sins. That's why we went to captivity, slavery, and bondage. Who? The righteous and the wicked. So now you mean to tell me that they gotta pass? They gotta pass what their ancestors did? Just because they learned what we teaching? That's a catch-22 right there, y'all. He said, if they will not obey, I will utterly pluck up and destroy that nation. It said nothing about no individuals. It said that nation. But see, if you ain't looking at it for what it's really saying, who said it? Said the Most High. If they all ain't trying to learn what we trying to learn, hey, he said gonna utterly pluck up and destroy that nation. Who said it? Said the Most High. What you gonna do with that? Because I seen brothers read 16, but they ain't read 17. You better recognize, man. Shoot. That's why I say, y'all don't want to follow us. Why he said, hey, Isaiah 60 and 12. We just dealing with the word is true or the word is false. It says, for the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yeah, those nations shall be utterly wasted. You hear that? Nations. It didn't say individuals, it said nations. But see, that'll go over your head because y'all so caught up in individual. No, he said for the nation. You can't get all your nation to be down with learning what we teaching. He said he's going to pluck up and destroy that nation. Who said it? Said the Most High. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. He said, yeah, those nations shall be utterly wasted. Come on. You know, and I hear people saying that these other nations going to be able to go into the gates and all that, man. I tell you what, they got a job to do. Verse 10, the sons of strangers, that's the same stranger we read about in Isaiah 14 and 1 and 2, shall build up thy walls. They got a job to do in the kingdom. And their king shall minister unto thee, for in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. And we just read who we are going to have mercy on in Isaiah 14 and 1. This is what it says. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually. You know, it's 12 gates, right? Gates going to be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night. Why? That men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. There it is. It don't say where they going into the gates. Y'all seen that? I haven't seen that. I ain't seen what these other nations going into our gates. Last I read it said what? You know, these are the things that, you know, we just deal with whether it's true or it's false. What's right and what's wrong. Look, Revelation 21 and 12, and had a wall great and high and had 12 gates. And at the gates, 12 angels. Just told you that The Gentiles going to bring the forces of the Gentiles to the gates. And it say going in the gates, say it had a great wall, great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, each angel on each gate, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. On the east 3 gates, on the north 3 gates, on the south 3 gates, and on the west 3 gates. You see? So each gate is going to have one of the tribes: Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, Issachar. That's 12. 3 on the east, 3 on the west, 3 on the north, 3 on the south. That equals 12 gates. Why would it say written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel? He told us we're going to take these other nations and bring them to their place where they're going to be at in the kingdom, that remnant. Because there's going to be some that's going to lock into what it's supposed to do in dealing with learning, living, and applying this in their life. You see, it's got to be a remnant. Somebody got to fulfill what it is that he said and bringing what it is that they're supposed to bring into the kingdom. But, you know, some of them say, hey, I'm not letting the Mashiach Yahushua rule over me. But they probably ain't read this. In Luke 19:14, think about the symbols of our nation. There's a lot of them. And yet those that were joined with the Greeks, they passed that symbolism. That's a new word. Symbolism down to the lineage. They were symbols. You got more symbols. You know, I can show you how our people felt and what they dealt with, how they dealt. And you can read it about it in the Maccabees. That's the Greek Empire. You see? How we went to get a license to sin, to be like the heathen, to be like them. They're supposed to be learning from us. But we are here just like now, you know, bowing down to the system, the things they say do. A lot of y'all done it already. You say, hey, do this. And y'all did it. Whatever it was, you know. But we that's really in the truth didn't do what they say do. Some of you follow just what they said to do. That's why they said, hopefully you come out of that and say, Luke 19:14. But the citizens hated him. See, he wasn't love. It's a Mashiach Yahushua. His own people hated him and sent a message after him saying, we will not have this man to reign over us. He said, we will not have this man reign over us. These are the same spirits that would say, crucify him and let his blood be on us and on our children. A lot of you, the children of those that said that. Crucify him and let his blood be on us and our children. So when he come back, we done read that he come back to judge and make war. He gonna say this. Put this in your membrane. In verse 27, Luke 19:27. But those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, he said, bring them in front of me, and slay them before me. Who's gonna do the slaying? Talk to me. Because he ain't say he doing it. He said, hey, but those my enemies, which would not that I should reign over them. You don't want a Mashiach to reign over you? He come back to reign for 1,000 years. He said, bring hither, bring him in front of me. Bring hither, bring him in. Just gonna happen, y'all. He said, bring him in front of me and slay them before me. He said, kill them right before me. See, they don't teach that part of them, do they? That's why they're gonna be fooled, man. That's why we have to really look at being ready, so we ain't gotta get ready. Gotta have your mind ready, the spirit ready, to know what's going down, what's going down. You got your relationship with the Most High, man. All praise to the Most High. Can't say it enough, man. You're the only one gonna deliver us. You know what we say? We don't have no king but Caesar. We don't have no king but Caesar. And they talking about this is what they saying now? Ain't that what saying now? Ain't that people saying that now? We have no king but Caesar, Caesar Borgia. What are people saying to this day? Come on. Understand this. Mashal Bashar was letting us know a lot of things, but we didn't really look into what he was saying. While the book is written for us today, because they didn't get it. Excuse me, they didn't get it. Look what he told them. He said, since we in Luke 19, jump to verse 43. Now he's in the Roman Empire. He's in the Roman Empire. You see, it's saying, for the days shall come upon thee that thine enemies, your enemies, that thine enemies, your enemies, shall cast a trench about thee. So they're going to cast a trench around us in Jerusalem now, and compass thee round and keep thee in on every side. Enemies. Who's he calling enemies? The Romans, the so-called white man. Bing, out of here. Listen, and shall lay thee even with the ground, flatline you, kill us. And thy children within thee, kill the children. This ain't nothing new. Remember when Messiah was born, Herod went down, went around, had him killing what? 2-year-old and down. That's what he did. And shall lay thee even unto the ground, with the ground, and thy children with thee, and they shall not leave in thee one stone upon another, because thou knewest not the time of thy visitation. Like I'm telling you, you got to be ready, so you don't have to get ready. There's too many prophecies that we can look at and know what's going to happen, that you be ready. You don't wait till the thief comes. You know the thief coming at 9 o'clock, and you sitting there, you doing that lollygagging around, man. You know he coming. You be ready, man. So you ain't know the time of your visitation. That's why he said in Luke 21:20, he said, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies. What armies would this be? What armies would it be? This is Mashiach Shai speaking. This is your sweet Jesus speaking. He said, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh, is near. That's why when you hear these prophecies and you know that these things are going to happen, you have to have your mind. You can't just, this ain't something that you just, this ain't no sit down and hear what I'm talking about, and then after the book is closed, you forget about it. You got to be getting ready. You got to think about these things, man. That's what happened. When you think it's going to be any different? When the devil know he got a short time coming up with much wrath to maintain his kingdom? Are you serious? And we got next forever and ever and ever? Look, he said, and when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, we living in Jerusalem as the children of Israel, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh, is near. It's near. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. We fled into the mountains. And let them which are in the midst of it depart out. You know, so he said, get out of there. And let not them that are in the countries enter therein. Don't come back into Jerusalem. For these be the days of vengeance. that all things which are written may be fulfilled. So I ask you, preachers, where is it written at? All things that are written may be fulfilled. Where's that at? Where's that at? Because y'all don't believe in the Old Testament. Y'all don't go to the Old Testament. So you got to be able to know that when he says that all things which are written may be fulfilled, where would that be at? Because he's talking about a certain place you got to go to look at that things were talked about. And we can go to Daniel's 9, one place, Daniel 9 and 24. That's what I say. By the time, if you don't know nothing about history, how you gonna read it? That's probably why they don't deal with the Old Testament, because they don't know nothing about our history. Daniel 9:24 says, 7 weeks are determined upon thy people. Who's the Most High's people? Thy people, my people. Who's my people? Let's see if we can find my people. Okay, let's see. In 2 Samuel 7 and 10. I like this one. 2 Samuel 7 and 10 says, go right along with what we've been talking about so far in the spirit. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel. I like that. Like the Most High said, well, the Most High will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. That's what he said. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel and will plant them. This is the Most High going to plant us where he going to put us at, that they may dwell in a place of their own. You hear that? We're going to dwell in a place of our own and move no more. So you know it's not talking about any time that we can look at right now, because he say he going to plant us in our place of our own. We're going to own the place that he going to plant us in and move no more. Neither shall the children of the wicked, you hear, the children of the wicked, afflict them anymore as before time. I like that, my people Israel. You hear that? Neither shall the children of the wicked afflict them anymore as before time. Now, going back to Daniel's 9 and 24, 70 weeks are determined upon thy people who are the Israelites and upon thy holy city to finish the transgression and to make an end of sins and to make reconciliation for iniquity and to bring an everlasting righteousness and to seal up the vision and prophecy and to anoint the most holy. When Mashiach came to die for the sins of the 12 tribes of Israel. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the Mashiach Yahushua, the prince shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The streets shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublous times in the Roman Empire. And after 60, a score is 20, 62 weeks shall Messiah, the Mashiach Yahushua, be cut off. I mean, they're going to kill him, they're going to crucify him, but not for himself, because he didn't die for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. And that happened in 70 AD. The people of the prince of Satan destroyed the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood. And unto the end of the war, desolations are determined. So we ain't just bow down. Who's at war? And he shall confirm the covenant, which is with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to the 12 tribes of Israel, only with many, but 1 week, And in the midst of the week, that was the fourth day, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease, sacrificing animals and anything pertaining to the atonement of our sins, or any kind of sacrificing at all. The middle of the week is the fourth day when they crucified him. He shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease, to stop sacrificing animals for the atonement of our sins, because he is the ultimate sacrifice. And for the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. Because they tore down the temple and robbed the temple. You can see there are pictures of them carrying out our manures and big golden manures. I've been over there. I've seen they had frames, especially when the elder went over there, I think it was 90, in the early 90s, about 90, between 90 and 92. The frames were just like solid gold, man. I mean, King Solomon, man, and Most High made him so rich, man. It was looking for, still looking for his mines and so forth. So when you see him saying in Luke 21 and 21, then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the country enter into. I'm gonna put you on timeout, David. You're talking too much, man. Just listen. That's a distraction. You keep on typing continually in the text, man. Luke 21 and 21. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. So he told us to flee to the mountains. When you see the Roman army surrounding us, remember he said they're gonna dig a trench. And our enemies, he called them our enemies. Straight up. Hamashiach Yahushua called them our enemies. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter therein. He said, for these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. So where's that at? All things that are written must be fulfilled. We just read some of it in Daniel's 9, 24 to 27, right? He said, but woe, that's destruction to them that are with child. He said desolation, you're going to kill a lot of people. You're going to read about it. But lo, for woe unto them that are with child, women that's with child, and to them or men that have child, and to them that give suck, got babies in those days. For these, and he's hollering and screaming, just loud. See, for there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. And they shall fall by the sword. Listen to what it said. They're going to fall by the edge of the sword, Salakia, and shall be led away captive into all nations. You hear that? We're going to fall by the sword because we was at war, and shall be led away captive into all nations. That's when we went into captivity, slavery, and bondage. They put us in captivity under all these nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, these other nations, these same strangers we read about in Isaiah 14, 1 and 2. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled, right? That's why he told us in, remember he said, these be the days of vengeance, right? In verse 22, for these be the days of vengeance. He told us in Matthew 11 and 12. And from the days of John the Baptist, Mashiach's cousin, who led the way before Mashiach until now, he said the kingdom of heaven, which we the 12 tribes is suffering violence. Hear what it said? So we suffer violence. And the violent, you hear what he called them? He called them enemies. Now he called them the violent, take it by force. You see? The violent, take it by force. That's what happened in 70 AD. What did they do? It tells you about it. And he said, things that's written, right? Let's see where it's written at. One place is Psalm 79 chapter. O Most High, the heathen, you Gentiles, you strangers, the Romans, and all the other heathen nations that was with them, are come into thine inheritance, into our land of Israel. That holy temple have they defiled. And we know this happened during the time of the Greek Empire. Have they defiled? They have laid Jerusalem on heaps. That's what they did in 70 AD. The dead bodies of thy servants, it's desolation right here, y'all. The dead bodies of thy servants have they given to be meat unto the fowls of the heaven. That's why we read about in Revelations 19, they gonna be, that's why he said what? Revelation 19, 17, don't forget. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying, to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, come and gather yourselves together into the supper of the great power, that ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, that both free and bond, both small and great. Right? Verse 21, and the remnant was slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceeded out of his mouth. That's what Mashiach was shot. And all the fowls were filled with their flesh. You see this? You see the difference? The similarity to what's happening? What happened to us? Psalm 79 and 2. The dead bodies of thy servants have they given to be meat unto the fowls of heaven. You see that? That happened to us. So what's going to happen to them? The flesh of thy saints unto the beasts of the earth. The beasts were eating us up. Their blood have they shed like water round about Jerusalem. When I read this, it's hurtful because I think about how they come and they open up the water hydrants on the streets, and the water just flowed through the street. I look at that. I mean, when I see it, it kind of remind me of this, like but it's our blood. Their blood have they shed like water around about Jerusalem, and there was none to bury them. Nobody was buried us. We are become a reproach, a disgrace to our neighbors, a scorn and a derision to them that are round about us. How long, O Most High? Would I be angry forever? Shall our jealousy burn like fire? Pour out thy wrath upon the heathen that have not known thee, and upon the kingdoms that have not called upon thy name. You see, we told you in Jeremiah 12:16, they're supposed to call upon the name of the Most High, the power of Abraham as Jacob. They ain't calling upon the name of the Most High, because you go to his name as the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob been a forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, and you name them 12 tribes. How's he anybody else's power? But Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. That's what we say the power of. So he's the power of anybody else if that's what we say the power of. He's the power of Israel, the Israelites. Point blank. Or remember not. Listen. Pour out that wrath, verse 6. Pour out that wrath upon the heathen that have not known thee, and upon the kingdoms that have not called upon thy name. For they have devoured Jacob and laid waste his dwelling place. Or remember not against us former iniquities, former sins, former wickedness, former evil things that we've done. Let thy tender mercies speedily prevent us. but we are brought very low. Help us, O Most High, of our salvation, for the glory of thy name, and deliver us and purge away our sins for thy name's sake. His name is in our name, Yah, Sharla. Wherefore should the heathen say, where is their power? Let it be known among the heathen in our sight by the revenging of the blood of thy servants, which is shed. How is it shed? Verse 3, their blood have they shed like water round about Jerusalem, and there was none to bury them. Verse 10, wherefore should the heathen say, where is their power? Let them be known among the heathen in our sight by the revenging of the blood of thy servants, which is shed. Oh, it's gonna be revenge. You better believe that. Trust and believe this. That's why I say, man, it's amazing to me how you could think that in your wildest dreams, man, that it's just a fantasy. But think that there's no payback for what has been done to us, chosen people of the Most High. Go to Revelation 6, chapter, verse 9. We start at verse 9. When he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of the Most High and for the testimony which they held. We the children of Israel. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Most High, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? You hear that? They crying out to the Most High. He feel that blood like Abraham. Abel. Cain killed Abel. He feel that blood, man, that's been shed. They cry with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Most High, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? And white robes were given unto every one of them. And it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season, until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. Oh yeah. You gonna bring, would you say you could just do whatever you want to do? That's why I said prepare slaughter for the iniquity of their fathers. You know? That's why I said, look, no matter what you see on this earth, these other nations have not been judged. Psalm 147, 19 and 20. We've been judged, y'all. Look, Psalm 147, 19 and 20. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgment unto Israel. You hear that? His statutes and judgments, that's the punishment for breaking the Most High's commandments, his laws, unto the Israelites. He have not dealt so with any nation. You hear that? He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgment unto Israel. He's saying he have not dealt so with any nation. That's what he's saying. Talking about these other strangers, the nations and so forth, the other nations, the heathens that we done read about outside of the 12 tribes of Israel. And as for his judgment, that means a punishment for breaking the Most High's commandments. They have not known them. Praise ye the Most High. Praise the Most High. Oh yeah, praise the Most High. Praise the Most High. Yeah. See, they have, as for his judgments, punishments for what they have done, they have not known them. Praise ye the Most High. There it is, man. But they're going to know it. They're going to know it. Understand this. Psalm 149. And let's look at verse 5. Let's start there. So let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth. Y'all better learn to praise the Most High. Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand. Uh-oh. A two-edged sword in our hands to do what? That's to cut this way, cut that way. To execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people. To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. To execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Who the saints? Praise ye the Most High. Psalm 148:14. He also exalted the horn with the power like the bull's horn, the ram's horn of his people, the praise of all his saints. Who the saints? Even of the children of Israel. Who are we? A people near to the Most High. Praise ye the Most High. Praise ye the Most High. For real, for real. Come on. Y'all better learn to praise the Most High and say all praise to the Most High. For real, for real. But you're going to do what he come for you. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we got to pay. Still paying, you know. But we got to be ready. Look what it said. Isaiah 51:6. Isaiah 51st chapter and verse 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquities, but this is the time of the Most High's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. I mean, you better understand. You better recognize, like he told us, and he's going to get them, man. It's like, just like he got us, everybody got to pay. There's no easy way out, point blank. Ain't no easy way out. Look, Revelation 18:4. Revelation, the 18th chapter, the 4th verse. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, talking to us. He said, come out of her, my people. Right? Come out of her, my people. Israelites, that ye be not partakers of her sins. Be not partakers of her sins. And that you receive not of her plagues. What's that plague in this place, man? There's going to be a lot of plagues on this earth, man. Y'all ain't saying nothing yet. That's why we can't be in the same mind. That's why you be separate. Some of you, you got to learn to be comfortable with not being a part of this world, set apart. They tell you that in these religions, right? You said we set apart. It ain't set apart. When you set yourself apart, man, you sacrifice for this truth, man. You sacrifice for this truth. Ain't nothing more important than the truth. What's more powerful than the truth? Nothing. And when you sacrifice for this, you give your life over to this, you'll be blessed. He said it. I mean, come on. Deuteronomy 28:1. See if he said you can try to do this and don't do it. Come on, man. This is what it's about, man. Nothing more powerful than the truth. Deuteronomy 28:1 and 2, what did he say? And it shall come to pass, future prophecy, y'all, if thou shalt hearken and listen diligently unto the voice of the Most High, your power, thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Most High, thy power, your power, will set thee on high, how high? Above all nations of the earth. That's the kingdom right there that we read about earlier. Remember, he's going to set us in our own land? That's what's going to set us above all nations of the earth. All we got to do is come back to the Most High. Do what he say do. Sacrifice. Give it up for the Most High. Do what he say do. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if, that's a condition, thou shalt hearken and listen unto the voice of the Most High, thy power, your power. Talking to we the Israelites. Nobody else. He's talking to we, the 12 tribes of Israel. We just got to do what he say do. And he told us in 1 John 5:3, but it's the love of the Most High that we keep his commandments. The commandments are not grievous. It ain't hard to do it. It's just a matter of you still want to be in the world. You got to find some way to entertain yourself or do whatever you got to deal with. That's the world is calling you because you ain't really left it. Oh, he say, come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of singles. It's going to happen right here. Lamentation 4:22, it's going to happen. This is what's going to happen with those of the remnant. Not everybody, but that remnant that he's going to grab. He's laboring to make it perfect. And see, that's the whole thing. You know, it's like, you're not spiritual. You don't even, if you're not spiritual, you don't understand what I just said. That the Most High labored to make some of us perfect. Hopefully, we are a part of that. You got to endure to the end, though. But you got to sacrifice, man. Lamentation 4:22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished. You hear that? O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. I don't care what they say. The Most High said, we ain't going into captivity. No more. No more. Deuteronomy 28:68, we read from that wicked Bible and the King James 6:11 Bible. The Most High will send you into Egypt again with ships. By the way, if I expect unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. There, when you go to these places, we're gonna go on these ships. You shall be sold to your enemies, for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Nobody gonna redeem us from the condition that we put ourselves in for breaking the Most High's commandments and laws. And preachers are telling you that you ain't under the laws. That's why we in the condition we in now. We're coming out of that, y'all. He just said he's gonna put us above all nations. All we gotta do is do what he say do, hearken to the voice of the Most High. And this all throughout the world. You hear him say, think about this. Maybe you could do this. No, he said, do this. It's commandments, it's orders, point blank. He said, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. Who's Zion? Daughter of Zion. Who is that? Isaiah 51:16. Isaiah 61:16. And I have put my words in thy mouth. And I have covered thee in the shadow of mine hand, that I may plant the heavens and lay the foundation of the earth, and say unto Zion, thou art my people. You see? So you see, Zion is talking about we, the children of Israel, my people. Who's my people? Let's go back again. See, we can go back there again. So we can find it, who my people is. I love this one. First Samuel. Is it First Samuel? No, Second Samuel. 7. See if I can find it again. It's one of those new ones that I just found. Love it. Second Samuel, 7 and 10. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel. So you see, my people, it's about my people Israel, the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel, and will plant them. See that? Most of us, he's going to plant us in the land, that they may dwell in the place of their own. I mean, I love this. And move no more. What did he say? Salakia. Lamentation 22nd verse of chapter 4. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion, O 12 tribes of Israel. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. Right? 2 Samuel 7 and 10. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and will plant them, that they may dwell in a place of their own, and move no more. Neither shall the children of wickedness, these Edomites, these Ammonites, these Moabites, these Ishmaelites, the Hamites, you name them, will never have us in captivity again. Neither shall the children of wickedness afflict them anymore. as before time. Isaiah 60:21. But recognize your shoe. Great. Isaiah 60:21. True or false? Isaiah 60:21. Thy people, which we know, my people Israel, we just read that, also shall be all righteous. We haven't defined righteous tonight. Let's define righteous. Psalms 119, 172. So we're going to be all righteous as the children of Israel. Psalms 119, 172. My tongue shall speak of thy word, for all thy commandments are righteousness. Right? So the commandments, keeping the laws makes you righteous. That's why it says, Isaiah 60:21, thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that's the Most High's hands, that I may be glorified. You hear that? All this is for the Most High. He said that I is the Most High may be glorified. So you got to jumpstart right now. All those that have ears to hear in the spirit, to learn how to praise the Most High, man. Say a little one, just a little one shall become 1,000. You hear that? I ain't found no woman say they ready to drop 1,000 babies. Y'all women say, hey, y'all, that's mine. I ain't found no woman say, hey, y'all ready? A little one shall become 1,000. And a small one, a strong nation. I, the Most High, will hasten it in his time. Tell the Most High, you ain't going to do it. You're going to do that, y'all. Going back to Lamentation 4:22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion, O 12 tribes of Israel. That remnant, he will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity. He said, he'll visit somebody's iniquity, somebody's wickedness. Who? O daughter of Edom, the so-called white man, who will be the superpower of earth, ruling the earth at the end of the earth. When you read 2 Ezra 6 and 9, say, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. Say, O daughter of Edom, he will discover thy sins, your sins, because they the ones that have the Bible. They the ones making the money off the Bibles, right? They're the ones printing the Bibles, #1 selling book in the world. We're not making money off these Bibles. They're the ones making the monies off the Bibles. They don't want to have our Bibles. So, hey, he said we'll discover their sins. That's why he told us in Revelations 18. I mean, so he's not going to discover the sins of the things that they have done to the Most High's people, chosen people. That's why the Most High said this. I mean, how you gonna get by this? How do you bypass all of this? When he said in Zechariah 1:15, he said, and I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease. For I was but a little displeased with we the children of Israel, and they held forward the affliction, man. They went over the call of duty, man. He said it was just a little displeased. They held forward the affliction. Come on. All the things that they have done, to us, and just all they got to do is just call on the name of Jesus, or just come and be amongst us. That's why I showed you how he said he gonna pluck up and destroy that nation, said the Most High. That's the catch-22 right there. Because the judgment gonna come down. It's gonna come down. I mean, look, what are you gonna do with this? I mean, this ain't happened yet. Future prophecies, man. What you gonna do with this? I mean, he's telling you this was gonna happen. Jeremiah 51:20. Let's read verse 30. Let's sit up. Jeremiah 51, and we're gonna start at verse 12. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon here in America. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes. For the Most High have both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon, right in America. O thou that dwelleth upon many waters, abundant in treasures, rich as ever, thine end is come. In the measure of thy covetousness, desiring everything that everybody have. Never satisfied. The Most High power of hosts, Most High power of army of angels have sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. He hath made the earth by his power. He hath established the world by his wisdom, and hath stretched out the heaven by his understanding. When he utters his voice, there is a multitude of waters in the heavens, and he causes the vapors to ascend from the ends of the earth. He maketh lightnings with rain, and bringeth forth the wind out of his treasures. All praise to the Most High. Every man is beautified by his knowledge. Every founder is confounded by the graven image, because they're not dealing with the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All the gods of the nations are idols. Psalm 96:5. But the Most High made the heavens. They worship the sun, the moon, the stars, the comets, you name it. For his molten image is falsehood, and there was no breath in them. They are vanity, the work of errors. In the time of the visitation, they shall perish. Get that? In the time of the Most High, when he visits his place, send on Mashiach side and the holy angels, 200 million, say, they shall perish. The portion of Jacob is not like them. See, we're supposed to be like them. That's why I say, learn not the way of the heathen. And he told us, come out of her. That we don't be partakers of her sins and receive of her plagues. The portion of Jacob is not like them, but he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Most High power holds his name. Look what he said about Israelites. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations. That sounds far-fetched, right? But you got to tell the Most High you know what he's talking about. Like I said, true or false. Words are true or words are false. He said, with thee will I, he said, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. He said, for with thee will I break in pieces the nations. And with thee will I destroy kingdoms. And with thee will I break in pieces the horse and his rider. And with thee will I break in pieces the chariot and his rider. With thee also will I break in pieces man and woman. You hear that? Man and woman. And with thee will I break in pieces old and young. And with thee will I break in pieces the young man and the maid. Young women and young men and young women. And I will also break in pieces with thee the shepherd, the preachers, and his flock. All you just following them. And with thee will I break in pieces the husbandmen, the farmers, and his yoke of oxen. And with thee will I break in pieces captains and rulers. And I will render unto Babylon, America, to all the inhabitants of Chaldea, all their evil that they have done in Zion, in your sight, saith the Most High. True or false? Is that word true? That word false? Hmm? Come on, talk to me. Did y'all be saying we racist? We just that or third. That's what the scriptures say. The Most High allowed us to be here. Behold, he said, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, O destroying kingdom, said the Most High, which destroy all the earth. And I will stretch out mine hand upon thee and roll thee down from the rocks. Rocks are in caves. And will make thee a burnt mountain. Destroying mountain gonna make you a burnt mountain. It's pretty serious. Look what it says over here in verse 28. Very interesting. It says, prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes. Wow. The captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. Because, you know, we were under the Persian Mede Empire. And they joined together, man. In war right now. And the land shall tremble and sorrow. For every purpose of the Most High shall be performed against Babylon, America, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without an inhabitant. Ain't nobody gonna ever live here. The mighty men of Babylon are forborn to fight. We know what the end is gonna be. We already read that in 2 Ezra 13:9 through 10 through 11. So it's gonna be nothing but dust and smell of smoke. The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might have failed. They became as women. You hear that? They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. It's telling you, man. Verse 33. So, hey, but thus say the Most High power of hosts, Most High power of army of angels, the power of Israel. You see that? The power of Israel. The daughter of Babylon is like a threshing floor. It is time to thresh her. It's time, he said, yet a little while, and the time of her harvest shall come. He's going to bring this about, man. Look at the daughter of Babylon, right? You think it's not talking about Esau and his kingdom? It's talking about them, y'all. Psalm 137, verse 7 through 9. Understand this. Remember, O Most High, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. That's 1 Ezra 4 and 45. That's what they did. We went to captivity under the Babylonians, the first Babylonians, the Ethiopians under King Nebuchadnezzar. That's why I say, if you don't know anything about history, how you gonna read the Bible and really understand what it's talking about? You gotta learn all this, man. It's a lot to learn. 1 Ezra 4 to 45, it says, thou also have vowed to build up the temple, which the Edomites burned when? When Judea was made desolate by the Chaldees, right? We went to captivity under Nebuchadnezzar. 70 years we was in captivity under them. The Edomites burned our temple down. You understand this? That's why it's so important for us to come back to the Most High. They don't want this to go out. Y'all give a like and share. You know, hit the hype so this can go out, because they don't want this to go out. They don't want us, praising the Most High, coming back to the Most High. That's the whole objective. Keep us from the Most High. For real, y'all. Because he the one gonna be all in all. He the one's gonna deliver us. Nobody else can deliver us but him. It's in his hand. Mashallah said, I don't know when he can do it. He don't know he coming to judge and make war. Only the Most High know. And they know that much. They don't know him. They don't know what Mashiach Yahushua, but they know that they're going to keep us from him. Why was it important for them to have us not to be able to learn how to read? Because this is what they didn't want us to read, the Bible. Because it's our book. We the chosen people of the Most High. Look, Psalm 137:7. Remember it said the daughter of Babylon? Here it is right here. Remember, O Most High, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it even to the foundation thereof. While we was in First Ezra 4:45. Thou also have vowed to build up the temple, which the Edomites, the so-called white man or white men, burned when Judea was made desolate by the Chaldees, by the Ethiopians, Cushites, the Babylonians, under King Nebuchadnezzar. This is what they did. So going back to verse 8 of Psalms 137, O daughter of Babylon. Who's the daughter of Babylon? Verse 7, remember, O Most High, the children of Edom. Who the children of Edom? What does it say here? O daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed. Happy shall it be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall it be that taketh and dashes thy little ones against the stones. Like I've been telling y'all, it's very important that you see the comparison. What happened to us, what happened to them, and all the other nations, Just a moment. See, we get caught up in, them love particles. But let me show you something. This a book. It's called A Short Account of the Destruction of the Indies. This when Esau came over here to the Western Hemisphere. It's by Bartolome de las Casas. Let me show you. It said, happy shall it be that taketh and dashes thy little ones against the stones, right? So one thing I'll say is Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci didn't paint these pictures in this book. Let me show you some of these pictures in here. So because, man, it's gruesome. It's awesome. But it's real because it's what happened to us. It's what happened to us. Man. Bear with me because it's pretty old, so I got to handle it with care. But I just want to show you something. Well, maybe I'll just go through them, and I know it's gotta be. Wait a minute, here it is. Maybe that's it. I just want to show you. Oh, there it is. I see it. There it is, right here. I'm gonna make sure you see this because, like I've been showing you, if you go back and look at this lesson, some of y'all just coming in late. If you go back, I've been doing a comparison. So here it is. He said, happy shall it be that taketh and dashes thy little ones against the stones, right? Look at here. Can y'all see that? Can somebody let me know if you can see it? If I have it in the right position that you can see it. Can you see that? Can I get a one if y'all can see it? Anyone? Okay, the water. Appreciate it. The water. See that? See him dashing our babies to the stone? Or they got us on gallows, hanging with fire. Guess they're gonna eat us, huh? Yeah, cannibals. Okay. Like I said, it's all in here. Remember the Most High said he was just a little angry. They helped forward the affliction. Look, see, a lot of y'all don't know anything about this. I'm gonna show you. Like I say, they drew pictures. Now this is I'm gonna take some time and go through it again. I have a lesson where I went to this book. I went through it in English, Spanish, and Portuguese and Patois, 4 different languages, because they were complaining about us being on the TV show in East LA. And so I went in the studio and I did nothing but, shows pertaining to this book with scriptures. Look. Throwing them in a hole with spikes. But no judgment for this, right? So I say it was just a little angry with us. They helped forward the affliction. Okay. They starved us and made us walk for miles and miles and miles and miles. And then when they marched us to another city where they had you see they barbecuing the babies, right? You see they got the baby parts, all the body parts. We eating people right there. Y'all think it's important to come back to the Most High? Law, statutes, commandments. Y'all better understand who he gave us to. You see that? It's cold. Look at this woman. She rather than have them just come and do the things they will do to her, she hung her own self with her baby hanging off of her waist. See that? It's just the truth. How you justify this? See, that's why I'm showing y'all what happened to us. What's going to happen for the judgment of the people saying there's no judgment for that? We're really talking about what? 1492 on. So by the time you said 1619, so they had Murder Incorporated down pat. That's why the Most High said, hey. Psalm 137:9, happy shall he be that taketh and dashes thy little ones against the stones. Zechariah 2 and 6. Ho, ho, come forth and flee from the land of the north, said the Most High. For I have spread you abroad as the 4 winds, the 4 corners of the earth, or the heavens, said the Most High. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwelleth with the daughter of Babylon, with the Edomites. What are you saying? Nahum 3 and 10. Nahum 3 and 10. Nahum 3 and 10. Nahum 3 and 10. Yet was he carried away, she went into captivity. Her young children also were dashed in pieces. Yet was he carried away, went into captivity. Her young children were dashed in pieces at the top of all the streets, and they cast lots for her honorable men, and all her great men were bound in chains. You hear that? Her young children were dashed in pieces. Happened to us. Hosea 13. 16. Samaria, that's the northern tribes, shall become desolate, for she have rebelled against her power. They shall fall by the sword. Their infants shall be dashed in pieces, and her women with child shall be ripped up. That happened to us. You just seen pictures of it. Now I can go into the making of a slave, the Willie Lynch letter, where they would take our women in slavery and they would make a circle, and you don't know which one being chosen, but a pregnant woman, they would choose one of the pregnant women, scare tactics, and they would hang her upside down by her legs and cut her stomach open, and the baby would fall out on the ground and they would stomp her to death. Infants shall be dashed in pieces. And you just seen how they took our babies and hit them against the stones. And their women with child shall be ripped up. Come on. You just need to know. Can't do all that and there's no judgment. What are you talking about? And for you pork chop eating preachers, man, better repent, man. Jeremiah 23:55. For all that you've seen, what you got to say about it? I've heard what the prophet said, that prophesied lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed. How long shall this be in the heart, the mind of the prophets that prophesied lies? Yeah, they are prophets of the deceit of their own heart. Hear that? You pastors, you preachers, you ministers you are prophets of the deceit of your own heart, your own mind, which seem to cause my people to forget my name by their dreams, which they tell every man to his neighbor, as their fathers have forgotten my name for Baal, straight up, which is Lord. And some of you still calling on Baal, even though you done heard it over and over again. Every class I'm bringing it out, and you still calling on Lord. Which is Baal. But you'll find out. You'll find out one day. Hopefully before it's too late. I stand on this wholeheartedly. This is my life. every fiber that I live in of life, this is it. Right here, right in front of me. And you hearing it. We just got to get ourselves together, man. And work out our own salvation with fear and trembling. What's he gonna do when he come for you? What's your method? What's your the way that you're gonna really come out of this? Help us out. Because when you realize, all praise to the Most High, when you realize what these heathens know, they know this, y'all. That's why they're not gonna do anything to promote what it is that we're dealing with here. We talking about praising the Most High. We talking about come back to the Most High, and nobody else hardly talking about praising the Most High. They ain't bringing the Most High out. They talking about people, what the Most High telling Israel. It's okay though. There's nothing wrong with that. They just got to add in all praise to the Most High. Because I'm talking about him by himself, man. Come on. They're what they know. They're what they do know. Check this out. Ezekiel 39:23. And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity. That's why the Most High said, come out of her. That you don't be part of her sins. Iniquity is sins. And, that you receive of her plagues. We just read that in Revelation 18:4. These other nations know we went into captivity for our iniquity. They ain't trying to have you to come back to the Most High who wrote the laws. Come on. Because they trespassed against me. Hear that? Because we as an Israelite trespassed against the Most High. Therefore, hid I my face from them. Hear that? That's why he hid his face from us. Why he said in Hosea 5:15, I'm going to go to my place until we acknowledge our offense. Come on, y'all need to look at that lesson I did in Hosea 5:15. Just put priest Awam, THAAHWAM, then space, and put Hosea 5:15. Breakdown, I think it's called that, if I'm not mistaken. Put that, look at that. And you look at how we offended him. Then maybe that'll touch you to really love him. Really, really, really care more about him. Because he ain't known. Everybody talking about people, tribes, or they talking about this nation, or Mashiach Yahushua is not the Most High not the Mashiach Yahushua, but everybody talking about him alone, Most High alone, period. That I see. Ain't nobody praising him. I don't hear nobody say all praise. Y'all don't went to all praises. I don't like that, man. Most High, I don't like that. You don't like that. His name jealous, man. The heathen know this, and the heathen shall know, Ezekiel 39:23, that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity, because they trespassed against me. Therefore, hid I my face from them. See that? That's why I said I'm going to go to my place in Hosea 5:15 until we acknowledge our offense and seek his face. In our affliction, we're going to seek him early. Therefore, hid I my face from them and gave them into the hand of their enemies, not your friends. Mashiach said the enemy's going to surround, going to build a trench around us in Jerusalem, in the Roman Empire. They're the ones that killed him, the so-called white man. Put him to death, crucified him. And gave them into the hand of their enemies, not your friends. You hear that? Gave it to the hands of your enemies. So fell they all by the sword, according to their uncleanness and according to their transgressions, the sins that we sinned against the Most High, have I done unto them, and hid my face from them. And of them is we, the 12 tribes of Israel, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. Them 12 nations that make up one nation, the 12 tribes of Israel. He hid his face from us, his chosen people. Now he did all that and allowed them to do all that, and they just got to come in and just learn from us, and that's it. No judgment or nothing. When he took the righteous and the wicked into captivity of his chosen people, and you tell me who the chosen. If they can do whatever they want to do, come and learn from us, then there's no judgment. Talk to me. Go from the beginning and make it mean something different. You got to make it mean something different. Like I say, is the word true or the word false? You got to make it mean something different. For real, for real. Better understand, man. It's serious. To me, which I didn't say we went through, but all praise to the Most High. I'm going to keep praising the Most High. Isaiah 54:7. Isaiah 54:7. For a small moment have I forsaken thee, but with great mercies. That's getting some mercy is getting something not getting something you don't deserve to get. Many times will I gather thee. For a small moment have I forsaken thee. Those that's going to really come back to the Most High, really praise him sincerely, without just being a robot or robot T following somebody else, but just in your spirit, just naturally praising him, doing what he say do, loving him. But with great mercies will I gather thee. Remember we read in Luke 21:24, how he scattered us among all these nations, man. He said, with great mercies will I gather thee. In a little wrath, he said, I hid my face from thee for a moment. Because a day to the Most High is 1,000 years. 1,000 years, like one day. He said, the little moments that we all went through, what we went through. He said, a little wrath, in a little wrath, I hid my face from thee for a moment to the Most High. But with everlasting kindness will I have mercy on thee, said the Most High, thy Redeemer. Come on, man. We read that in Isaiah 14:1. He said, Most High gonna go there again. Isaiah 14:1. Come on. Isaiah 14:1. Mercies, man. Not just mercy, but mercies. That's getting what we deserve to get many a times. Look. Isaiah 14:1. For the Most High will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers, them heathens, the other nations, shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Right? They'll be cleaving to us. Remember, ain't gonna be no more Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force. Ain't gonna be none of that no more. Much I say coming to judge and make war, and all the things that you say are gonna happen, what you gonna do? The people shall take them, these other nations, and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Most High for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. That's what it's saying. That's prophecy. Revelations 9 and 10. Revelation 13, 9 and 10. I mean, if any man ever ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. True or false? Is the word true or the word false? He that leadeth in captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. So all the nations that led us into captivity, going into captivity. But what about the ones that you feel is righteous or whatever? Put the righteous and the wicked into captivity. We read that earlier. Just in case you don't know, you're going to know now. Jeremiah 30 and 16. Therefore, Jeremiah 30th chapter, the 16th verse. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured. You better hear this. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, all our enemies, adversaries mean enemies, every one of them shall go into captivity. Can't stop this. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, all our enemies, true or false? Is it true? Is the word true or the word false? Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, all our enemies, every one of them shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey, for I will restore health unto thee. You know, because this, when you read Job 30, this is Jacob's trouble. You know, when you look at verse 5, it says, let's read verse 4. And these are the words that the Most High spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. That's 12 tribes of Israel, the northern tribes and southern tribes. See, Israel sometimes is talking about the northern tribes, and Judah's talking about the southern tribes, right? All 12 tribes. It says, but thus say the Most High, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. It's Jacob's trouble, y'all. Ask ye now and see whether a man does travail with child. If a man have a contraction like a woman have a contraction with having a baby, wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness? It said, hey, alas, for that day is great. It's a great day, y'all. Alas, for that day is great. Like a man that's, full of contractions like a woman. You women that had babies and had hard labor, you know what that's like, them contractions and so forth. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. It's a time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Not everybody, but that remnant gonna be saved out of it. But it shall come to pass, future prophecy, in that day, said the Most High, power of hosts, power of army of angels that's right on this earth, y'all, waiting for the commandment of the Most High. Wherever you are right now, they where you at, invisible. That I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers, these other nations, these heathen nations, shall no more serve themselves of him. But they shall serve the Most High their power, and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. Therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, said the Most High, neither be dismayed, O Israel, but lo, I will save thee from afar, like way over here in this western hemisphere. And I see from the land of their captivity, wherever we are in captivity. He said, you're going to save us from the land of our captivity. And Jacob shall return and shall be in rest. We read that rest in Isaiah 14:3. And be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. For I am with thee, said the Most High, to save thee. Why Mashiach Yahushua? Though I make a full end of all nations, whether I have scattered thee, yet will I not make a full end of thee. But you're going to have that remnant, y'all. But I will correct thee in measure. That's what we was going through. So how is he going to correct us in measure and all the heinous acts that these other nations have done on this earth? They don't have to get judged. When the righteous and the wicked of his chosen people were judged behind what the wicked done. But I will correct thee in measure and will not leave thee altogether unpunished. And we know this for a fact. But he said he was just a little angry with us. They helped forward the affliction. Went over the call of duty. This is the only captivity we was in that we didn't know who we were. When we got into the captivity of the so-called white man, the Greeks, to the Romans, to where we at now, the latter end of the Greco-Roman Empire, took away all our nationality. But thus say the Most High, thy abuse is incurable and thy wound is grievous. There was none to plead that cause, nobody pleading for us, that thou mayest be bound up. Thou hast no healing medicine. We have nobody help us, man. All our lovers have forgotten thee. We love everybody. Nobody love us. You know what he said? All our lovers, all you that love everybody, what are you at that's loving us? Who really love us? Talk to me. We love everybody. We got to love everybody. Nobody love us. That's why I say all thy lovers have forgotten thee. They seek thee not. They ain't looking after us. They ain't trying to find us, bring us back to who we are. But I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy, with the chastisement of a cruel one. The so-called white man, for the last kingdom that we was in for our captivity, for the multitude of thine iniquity, here for multitude of our sins, because thy sins were increased. We should have did what the Most High said do, and even though we did what he said do, we still went into captivity. Why he took the righteous and the wicked into captivity. That's why the righteous and the wicked, if you think they're righteous, among these other heathen nations, they're going into captivity too. Straight up. That's why he said in verse 16, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured. And all thine adversaries, all our enemies, every one of them shall go into captivity, like he did us. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. He restoring us back, y'all. He said, one gonna bring forth 1,000, the little one gonna bring forth a strong nation. All praises to the Most High. Power, Abraham. Look. Jeremiah 50. And verse 33. Thus say the Most High power of hosts, Most High power of army of angels, y'all. The children of Israel, the northern tribes, and the children of Judah, the southern tribes, represent all 12 tribes, were oppressed together. You know, were oppressed together. And all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. But here, their Redeemer, our Redeemer, y'all, is strong. The Most High power of hosts, Most High power of army of angels is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. Oh yeah, man. He's gonna bring it on you. What you gonna do when he come for you? That's what he's saying, man. He letting you know, man. That's why y'all gotta teach the truth, man. Y'all gotta come with the truth. Verse 36, a sword is upon the liars. Hear that? He gonna kill the liars. And they shall dote. A sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed. They know what to do. A sword is upon their horses, and upon their chariots, and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her. You know, right? You know that's America. Got all kind of this great melting pot. And they shall become as women. Again, we heard this over and over again tonight. They're gonna become as women. A sword is upon her treasures. That sword gonna take away their money, and they shall be robbed. A drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up. But it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. Come on. All the different idols they have here. That's why I call y'all Christian insanity. Therefore, the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the islands shall dwell there, and the owls shall dwell therein, and it shall be no more inhabited forever. So you know, I ain't talking about Babylon. That's where Iraq is at. He says, it shall not be dwelt in forever. Neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Ain't nobody gonna live here. So as the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, said the Most High, so shall no man abide there. Neither shall any man, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. I'm telling you, man. I've seen Sodom and Gomorrah, different places, you know, walked in it. It's like a sponge, man. Like we picked up the ground, pick up the little parts of the sides so that you can see whatever. A lot of cigarette lighters was burned, man. Whatever the Most High had come from the sky to burn it up, he left it so that you could see the structure. Just way back in Genesis, y'all. The structures that he had, you can see the pillars of the buildings and so forth, but it's all covered in. You can't walk in. It's all covered in. Whatever that is that he brought from heaven and from the sky on it to burn it up. You can see you see the buildings and everything. One place we had to go up on a mountain and look down upon, Sodom and Gomorrah was different cities. The two cities of Sodom, we walked in, but it was one we went up on a mountain and looked down, and it looked like a big old head on a pole, like a big old pole, like a big old head on it, about this big, real giant head looked like to me. It's on my YouTube page. I put a lot of those footage on it when I was over there, but ain't nobody there. When we went there about 2-3 times, when nobody was there, they ain't somewhere where somebody hanging out. They ain't there. That's for sure. Ain't going up in there. Tell how many people was dead up in there. I was unclean for a week, for sure, going there. He said, as the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and their neighbor cities thereof, said the Most High, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. Gonna be there. Just forget about it, man. That's why we looking at Most High will. We come back to his law, statutes, commandments, and you have what it is that's promised to us as a people. And you gotta have other nations. I mean, somebody gotta, bring the forces of the Gentiles to the gates in a righteous kingdom. Look, 2 Ezra 8:3. There be many created. But few shall be saved. You know? Many people been created, but few gonna be saved. Look at 2 Ezra 9:30. And thou spakest, saying, hear me, O Israel, and mark my words, thou seed of Jacob. Hear what he's saying. You ain't heard it? Go back and go over it. For behold, I sow my law in you. This ain't for everybody. But he says he sow his law in us. And it shall bring fruit in you, and ye shall be honored in it forever. You hear that? Now listen to these people telling you that you ain't got to keep the law of the Most High, so you can be honoring it forever. Because he said in verse 22, he said, hey, let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain. And let my grape be kept in my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect. It's for everyone. Why it said. Created many people, but only few gonna be saved. Verse 31, 9:31. But behold, I sow my law in you, and it shall bring fruit in you, and ye shall be honored in it forever. But our forefathers, which received the law, kept it not, and observed not the ordinances. And though the fruit of thy law did not perish, neither could it, for it was dying. You hear that? Do you hear that, preachers? The law is the Most High's. And you telling people don't follow the Most High. He gonna get you for that. You don't repent. You hear what it said? For it was dying. It was the Most High's. Yet they that received it, they that received the commandments and the laws of the Most High, it perished, because they kept not the thing that was sown in them. What was sown in them? Verse 31, for behold, I sow my law in you, and it shall bring fruit in you, and ye shall be honored in it forever. 33, yet they that received it perished, because they kept not the thing that was sown in them, the Most High laws. Verse 36, for we that have received the law perish by sin, the transgression of the Most High's law. And the definition of sin is in the New Testament that these so-called preachers are supposed to be believing in, since they don't believe in the Old Testament. 1 John 3 and 4. How do you bypass this scripture? Actual definition of sin, 1 John 3 and 4. Whosoever committed sin transgresses also the law, that he said he sowed in us. For sin is the transgression of the law. See? Verse 8, he that committed sin is of the devil. For the devil sinned from the beginning. For this purpose, the Son of the Most High, Mashiach Yahushua, was manifested that he might destroy the works of the devil. Then you know they the devil to tell you ain't got to keep the Most High's law. It's his. I'm just about finished. 2 Ezra 9. I'll just continue tomorrow. Y'all got to go out Hollywood. I'll just continue tomorrow. 2 Ezra 9:36. For we that have received the law perish by sin. And our heart, our minds, our thoughts also, which received it. Notwithstanding, the law perishes not, but remaineth in his force. So somebody lied. Somebody lying somewhere. Somebody lying. Say you ain't under the law. I'm gonna end with this, Baruch 4 and 1. This is the book, Baruch 4 and 1. We in the Apocrypha. This is the book of the commandments of the Most High and the law that endureth forever. I mean, the law perishes not. The law endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. So your preachers got you set up to die. Is it true or is it false? Is that word true or is the word false? Ain't that what we talking about? The words, whether true or false. Talk to me. This is the book of the commandments of the Most High and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. Turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated. Come on. You got to keep the law, y'all. You got moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws. You can learn of the sacrificial laws too, but we know that Mashiach was the ultimate sacrifice that took away the sins of the 12 tribes of Israel, point blank. And give a like, share. And when you get a like, you'll see that hype button come up and hit the hype for me so we can get this out. You know, a lot of prophecies, a lot of things came out tonight. You know, like I said, the words, whether true or false. Somebody got to determine that. Since they say we this way, that way, whatever, they got to go in here and make these words that I read and the breakdown I gave tonight in the spirit of the Most High. All praise to the Most High, while Mashiach Yahushua, Basham Mashiach Yahushua, right or wrong, true or false. Okay? And I appreciate y'all joining me. And join me tomorrow. I'll be on at 1:30 Pacific time, 2:30 Mountain time, 3:30 Central time, 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. You know, we'll be on in Hollywood tomorrow at 1:30 Pacific time. and Tawada for joining me. I say, Kwam Abanawa Yahweh, rise most high, Kwam Mashiach Yahushai, rise Mashiach Yahushai, the anointed Savior, and Kwam Yasharala, rise 12 tribes of Israel, and Tawada. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Most high will. It's already tomorrow somewhere you're at. So I'll see you. Shalom. All right. My brother, you got. Get some rest, huh?
Con.
Go to sleep.
I'm gonna get everything ready now.
Oh, okay. All right. Appreciate you being with me tonight.
Con.
See you in the
All
future.
praise to the
Shalom.
Most High.
All praise to the Most High. God.